Bardock vs. Frieza. Bardock, a lower class Saiyan debuting in 1990's Dragon Ball Z, the father of Goku, is a character who gained so much popularity that he made multiple appearances in video games, Dragon Ball Heroes, got a sequel to his special, and appearing in more relative/recent source material. Bardock encounters an alien race that had shared with him a telepathic gift that plays out as a curse when this gift reveals your end. His character and the events surrounding him have changed since his debut, for better or for worse. Bardock's fighting style favors grappling more than Goku's, and despite being a lower class, he has insane fight IQ. Bardock's fight against Frieza was more of him steamrolling through Frieza's army than actually going toe-to-toe with the Galactic Tyrant. Despite this, Bardock gained major respect points for how he went out, displaying courage, selflessness, and tenacity, inspiring others to give it your all no matter the circumstances. With the right setup, heroic deaths are epic and emotional, just like Bardock's. And that's the art of the fight scene. Bardock vs. Chilled. After Bardock's apparent death, he's mysteriously sent back into the past. Getting to see more of this Bardock is always a treat, and this special gives us more of what we love so much of Bardock in the first place. In addition, we get to witness Bardock's redemption, making an already epic DBZ character even more epic, with Bardock achieving Super Saiyan, becoming the legend itself. This transformation is done so well. It has great build-up and has its power displayed wonderfully. After going Super Saiyan, Bardock mops the floor with Frieza's ancestor by throwing him around like a rag doll and winning a beam struggle with one hand. This is a short fight, but hits the right beats, having clean animation, being easy to follow, developing a fan favorite character, and being so satisfying to watch. And that's the art of the fight scene. Goku vs. Frieza. This fight is iconic, introducing us to the Super Saiyan transformation and doing many things right. The build-up to this fight was brilliant, from seeing Frieza's transformations destroy the Z-Fighters to Vegeta's character moment right before the match begins. The character of Goku is up front and center when it comes to this fight, a role model and example for many. In addition to his actions, Goku preaches a bit too, saying some powerful stuff. The fight is most definitely drawn out, and the choreography isn't anything crazy, but it's the story that makes this fight so iconic. The audience who have been following the story so far waited eagerly for this matchup. And this fight delivered, with build-up, simple yet effective choreography, character moments, the banter, the use of varied techniques and abilities. There's even world building and lore being explored as the fight plays out. The fight ends with Frieza betraying Goku's mercy, humiliating himself and elevating Goku even more. And that's the art of the fight scene. Future Gohan vs. Android 17 and 18. Arguably the coolest version of Gohan, Future Gohan is a part of Future Trunks' alternate timeline, being an older brother/mentor figure to Trunks. In this alternate timeline, the androids had put the Earth in ruin. This fight does a great job utilizing its setting to deliver something interesting and engaging. In the History of Trunks special, Gohan loses his arm, protecting Trunks from Android 17 and 18. This leads to a selfless character moment for Gohan. After Gohan had regained his strength, he attempts to finish what was started, knocking out Trunks to prevent any distractions from this fight. This fight is a handicap match in more ways than one, a 1v2 between a half-blooded Saiyan and apathetic androids. Androids 17 and 18 recognize the threat Gohan is and plan a coordinated assault to end him. Despite Gohan's skill and tenacity, he's at too much of a disadvantage. The fight ends with arguably the most emotional moment of DBZ, emphasizing what Gohan has been telling Trunks all this time about unfairness and injustice. And that's the art of the fight scene. Piccolo vs. Android 17. Piccolo doesn't get many moments to shine compared to Goku and Vegeta, but when he does get a moment, it is always a treat. Piccolo, now fused with Kami, has sought to defeat the androids before Cell gets a chance to absorb them. First up is Android 17. It was interesting seeing these two personalities collide. The banter elevates the fight, adding more intrigue and hype. The two go back and forth, surprising one another, attempting to establish who is better. What's fun about DBZ fights is the use of flight, speed, and power in their choreography. Fighting in the air, fighting underwater, busting through mountains. Rewatching this fight reminds me of the Tenkaichi games for PlayStation 2. From sending my opponent flying across a massive map, destroying whatever was in the way, teleporting, and trading combos with my opponent. Overall, this fight is great. Unfortunately, Cell interrupts the fight before a winner is decided, and that's the art of the fight scene. Goku vs. Cell. It's fights like this that make DBZ so great for so many. The sharp sound design accompanying the quick and powerful movements, The 2D animation tricks that nowadays people call lazy was used to tell a story and save the animators time to put more heart and energy into other frames of the fight. This isn't a ki blast spamming fight, but a hand-to-hand fight between two superpowered beings. Beings that utilize martial arts and special techniques to tip the scales of the match. Goku, raised to be a martial artist in addition to being a Saiyan, an alien race born to fight. And Cell, an android genetically designed to possess the abilities and traits from all the greatest fighters we've encountered thus far in the show. Despite being a longer drawn-out fight, the fight was still enjoyable and did a great job setting up Gohan versus Cell. And that's the art of the fight scene. Z Fighters versus Broly. I love how unique DBZ fights are. It's always fun to watch DBZ villains use their specific fighting style to test our Z Fighters' limits. You know this is serious when Vegeta's confidence is shaken up. This fight does a great job with establishing tension, not only through Broly's character design, but through others' reactions and interactions with this evil incarnate. It takes almost all the Z Fighters to even stand a chance against Broly. Broly mops the floor with them. Broly is a calculated monster with insane ki control. This fight gave old school wrestling vibes, from the Rock soundtrack to the fight choreography. This fight doesn't have the craziest choreography, but it's cause and effect that makes the fight so intense. The pain being expressed by the Z Fighters, compared to the confidence and insanity of Broly. This fight is a big part of the reason why Broly is popular. So popular that Toriyama made him canon in more ways than one. The fight ends with the Z Fighters sharing their energy with Goku to land a finishing blow. And that's the art of the fight scene. Trunks versus Androids 17 and 18. Trunks, the half-blooded Saiyan of Vegeta and Bulma, returns to his timeline, the original DBZ timeline, returning in a happier state, being grateful for his journey across the mystical river of time. Trunks is alerted by a radio report that the androids are still causing havoc, and is quick to respond. Trunks saves an old man from Android 17 who just previously displayed his durability. Despite how durable and intimidating the androids may appear to normal humans, they're no longer a match for a Saiyan like Trunks. With such finesse, Trunks displays tremendous speed, ki control, durability, and power, obliterating 18 with a one-handed ki attack. Trunks' lines add so much hype to this fight, like listen to this.
There's no way someone like you could be powerful enough.
That one was for my friends. This one's for me. And my teacher Gohan.
Overall, this was a satisfying fight. It felt good watching Trunks make light work of the androids, properly avenging Gohan. And that's the art of the fight scene. Majin Vegeta versus Super Saiyan 2 Goku. This is one of my favorite anime fights of all time. From Bruce Faulkner's gloriously epic score to Vegeta's character-driven monologue. Both Vegeta and fans who grew up with Dragon Ball waited a long time for Goku and Vegeta's rematch. And this rematch is done right. A rematch filled with intensity and grit, from the destruction, ki discharge from attacks colliding, the back and forth of unleashing combos, and the battle damage the two endure. Furthermore, this rematch doesn't pause the story, but develops it even further. This fight is personal and directly furthers the plot. Vegeta allows himself to be controlled by Babidi to get the edge over Goku. Goku, a lower class Saiyan who humiliated Vegeta over and over again, and now Vegeta gets the opportunity to humiliate him. I plan on making a video essay about this fight, but as for now, this is the art of the fight scene. Vegito versus Super Buu. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. A fight between very interesting characters. Vegito, the Potara fusion of Goku and Vegeta, sporting a character design that does a great job combining both Saiyan's looks and personalities. Super Buu, the result of Evil Buu eating Good Buu or Fat Buu in chocolate form. This Buu is more powerful, smarter, and angrier than Good Buu. This specific version of Super Buu is also known as Buuhan, since he absorbed Ultimate Gohan before Goku could fuse with him. The build up to this fight was both funny and interesting. Buu's body composition leads to some intriguing imagery when attacked by Vegito. The fight had you hooked as you waited to see what would Vegito do next. Throughout the fight, Vegito toys with Super Buu, displaying multiple times that he could obliterate him at any moment, even as a piece of candy. The fight ends with Vegito being absorbed by Super Buu. Overall, this fight was a treat in more ways than one, providing two creatively awesome DBZ characters. And that's the art of the fight scene. Gogeta versus Janemba. It's always a pleasure returning to some classic anime animation. This fight just feels right, from the unique backdrop and setting to the framing putting on display the glorious character designs. The fusion dance character design is iconic. I remember I used to flip my shirt over my head to make my at-home cosplay of Gogeta as I pretended to be a Z warrior. I mean, come on, fusion is hype. Gogeta looks cool and sounds cool, with both Vegeta's and Goku's voice actors speaking in sync with one another.
Every force you create has an echo. Your own bad energy will be your undoing.
Gogeta does some sick fight choreography, utilizing his ability to fly to land some cool knees and a kick, then ending the fight with arguably the most unique DBZ attack. Gogeta vs Janemba is short, being more of a final act of Goku and Vegeta tag teaming against Janemba. Despite this, the fight is still enjoyable and paves the way for future fusion matches. And that's the art of the fight scene. Goku vs Hit. Universe 7 Saiyan vs Universe 6 Assassin. This fight doesn't have the craziest animation and has the typical fast Dragon Ball striking animation loop. Despite all that, this fight does a great job in other areas. This is more of a technique-driven fight, putting on display Goku's fight IQ, even though he appears to be dumbed down in Dragon Ball Super. This fight was surprisingly nostalgic, from how Goku navigated the fight to the reintroduction of the Kaioken. Seeing Goku stack Kaioken on Super Saiyan Blue was genius and epic to witness. The interactions and reactions among the characters throughout added to the fight and both combatants. Seeing Hit's character during this fight helped landed him as one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. That and his refreshing character design partnered with his time skip ability. The story being told in this fight was engaging, having both great setup and build up. Overall, this was a fun fight to watch that builds up wonderfully. And that's the art of the fight scene. Vegito Blue vs Merge Zamasu. After such a long time, Vegito has finally returned to Dragon Ball. Many were hyped for his return. His fight against Super Buu had set high expectations, and now that Goku and Vegeta have grown so much since then, one can only imagine what Vegito is now capable of. This fight has clean animation, having a great use of color, utilizing vibrant character designs that stick out from the darker monochromatic backdrop. This allows the fight to be easy to follow. This fight feels powerful, with the way this fight is shot and the use of wind animation. Zamasu's attacks are so powerful that even when he misses, he's causing destruction. Aside from the animation, the sound design and the banter add to the fight. I'm glad this fight wasn't just zipping around, but we got to see the power struggle between the two merged combatants. Unfortunately, the fight is interrupted by Vegito being split back into Vegeta and Goku for using too much power. Despite this being a controversial fight, this fusion matchup filled with God Ki was still enjoyable, and that's the art of the fight scene. Super Saiyan 4 Goku vs Nova Shinron. This fight starts off gimmicky, but once Goku goes Super Saiyan 4, things get serious. One of the coolest and unique Saiyan transformations, having greater ties to the original Ozaru transformation. Goku faces off against Nova Shinron, one of the 7 Shadow Dragons, being the dragon of the 4-star Dragon Ball. Nova has the ability to raise his body heat to even higher levels than the sun. This is definitely a Dragon Ball fight, having easy to comprehend abilities, transformations, destruction, some trickery, and an epic soundtrack. The voice acting is great too. This fight doesn't do anything crazy or groundbreaking, but it's still an enjoyable watch. The fight is interrupted by 3-star Dragon Ice. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll do a part 2 to this fight. As for now, this is the art of the fight scene. Super Saiyan 4 Goku vs Ice Shinron. Last time on the art of the fight scene, Goku was facing off against the Honorable Nova Shinron. However, their match was interrupted by Ice Shinron, the dragon of the 3-star ball and the twin brother of Nova. Nova is quick to free Goku, revealing more of his character and his brothers. Ice contrasts his brother in both element and character, being more of a devious and dirty fighter, using Pam as a means to get the upper hand on Goku. This fight does a great job leading us to root for the good guy to just destroy their opponent. Despite Ice's wicked antics, Goku offers mercy, staying in line with his character. After being blinded by a cheap attack from Ice, Goku intercepts Ice's final attempt to win with a fist through his torso. The fight ends with a close-range Dragon Fist. Overall, this was a short fight that had me invested. This fight also sets up another fight that I plan on covering in the future. As for now, this is the art of the fight scene.